President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga officially launched the Building Bridges Initiative report at the Bomas of Kenya last week. And we also know that President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga again earlier this week met with over 300 members of parliament and senators in Naivasha. And during that meeting in Naivasha, the president and Raila Odinga and the members of parliament and senators agreed to escalate the Building Bridges Initiative process to the next level. And that's where the challenge is. Because the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto and Musalia Mudavadi have been consistently calling for dialogue over the process. And today, details have emerged of a meeting between Raila Odinga, the 47 governors, and committee of experts. What's the implication of that meeting? So I want us to look at the possible reasons why Raila Odinga is meeting with the governors and the implications it will have on William Samoei Ruto and his politics. But before we go into those details, if you are watching this video for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Now back to the main issue. Earlier today, Stephen Leto, who is a respected journalist with the Citizen TV, updated this on his official Twitter handle. He's saying ODM leader Raila Odinga meeting all 47 governors in Nairobi. I am not sure whether all the 47 governors attended this meeting. But what I'm sure about is that if that meeting ever took place, then probably 1 or 2 or even 10 governors did not attend. And he's saying experts taking the council through BBI clauses that will affect devolution. So from Leto's Twitter, it is clear that the governors are meeting with Raila Odinga and the experts to go through this Building Bridges Initiative report. Remember, we have 47 governors in this country. The Deputy President William Samoei Ruto comes from Rift Valley. He's been opposed to this process from the onset. And of late, he's been calling for a consensus over this report. And when the president and Raila Odinga met with the members of parliament and senators in Naivasha, the deputy president was absent. All his allies were absent. And another thing which you should also remember is that when the president and Raila Odinga launched this report at the Bomas of Kenya, all members of parliament were invited. But conveniently, the allies of the deputy president claimed that they were never invited. Let me tell you something which you didn't know. You know, at the Bomas of Kenya, they had arranged the tables for members of parliament and the rest. So the allies of William Ruto decided not to attend. What they wanted was a picture whereby when the cameras were going to take the seats for the members of parliament, then those seats would be displayed as empty. And one of the organizers of that event told me that when it reached around 11 and it was becoming clear that members of parliament, some of them, were not going to attend, they decided to fill those seats with the Kenyans. Ordinary Kenyans were just invited. And that's why you didn't realize that members of parliament were missing. You couldn't even count. And for example, if you monitored Millie Odhiambo, when she was actually shouting, the people sitting next to her were not, some of them were not members of parliament, if you observed closely. So those guys were actually sitting on seats which were reserved for William Ruto's allies. Assuming these 47 governors attended this meeting, what message are they sending to the deputy president? Of course, we all know that the deputy president never submitted his proposals. And we know the governors, through their Council of Governors chairperson, Wycliffe Oparanya, made a presentation to the Building Bridges Initiative team. So why do you think these guys are meeting with Raila Odinga? In my view, 4 reasons. Number 1, I think it's about the collection of the 1 million signatures. That's, in my view, that's the reason why these guys are meeting. How are governors going to help in collecting these 1 million signatures? Remember, according to a leaked document, governors are going to take charge of these campaigns in their regions. And in regions where the governors are not supporting this Building Bridges Initiative report, then members of parliament in those specific areas are going to take charge. So assuming the 47 governors attended that meeting, what message are they going to be told? We want you guys to go and collect signatures. And you know why the choice of governors is lucrative to the Building Bridges Initiative proponent? One, governors have structures. So a governor has a team, has staffs. At the sub-county level, they have the sub-county administrators, constitutionally. Then at the ward level, they have the ward administrators. And when you come to Kisumu, like in my county, then we even have the village administrators. So if you take the structures of the governors and you add to the structure of the county commissioner, the provincial administration, then it will be easy for these guys to collect signatures. Number two, all governors have resources. That's the other reality. So they can easily fund some of these political activities. And some of them are also hoping to either be appointed, because most of them are second term, they're hoping to get appointment in the next government, either as cabinet secretaries or even to the cabinet, most of them. So they were being told that you guys take charge of this process. What I don't know is how this is going to sit with William Ruto. Assuming the Nandi governor, Stephen Sang, I know he might not allow this to happen, or even the Kericho governor, who is a second-term governor, or even Mandago, will decide that for me, I'm going to help in collecting the signatures. How is that going to sit with the deputy president? They'll manage to get the signatures, but how is that going to sit with the deputy president, who has insisted on dialogue? And his allies have insisted that their views were never collected. So I think number one, Raila Odinga is meeting with the governors to discuss on how to collect the 1 million signatures. Number two, I think it's about the devolved funds and functions. For those who follow politics in this country, at some point, the governors even started their own referendum initiative. Ugatuzi. It flopped. So when the Building Bridges Initiative campaigns began, these guys went there and made certain recommendations, and they made their presentations. And when the report came out, devolution was the biggest beneficiary. In fact, if there's one reason why Kenyans should vote for this report, is because of devolution. The report is recommending that 35% of the national resources be devolved to the devolved units. And then that 35%, we take 5% and give it to the ward funds. So that if you come from a ward, then you have 5% of that allocation coming to your ward. That's huge, because an MCA, because I normally go to the village and I interact with most of these MCAs. An MCA is supposed to legislate, but the burden has also been placed on his back. If there's a bridge somewhere which has collapsed as a matter of urgency, people will expect the MCAs to repair. Where will he get the money to repair? If it has to go to county, then you have to undergo through that procurement process, which is tedious. So if you have some of these funds managed at the ward level, then it means the MCAs and the ward administrators will be able to intervene in certain areas, because our problems are unique. You might find that a problem in your village is totally different from another problem in another village. But you come from the same county. You come from the same constituency. So with that money going there, it's going to help. But these guys are also discussing the functions, the devolved functions, as per the recommendations of the Building Bridges Initiative report. Remember, health services is devolved. But the Building Bridges Initiative report is suggesting the creation of health commission. This health commission is going to deal with a major problem which the health sector has been facing in this country. Salaries, demonstrations, and strikes. So to avert all those, we are going to have a health commission. But how are these going to be married with the counties? So probably that's what these guys are meeting to discuss. Number 3, in my view, Raila Odinga also met with these guys to discuss the referendum bill. What was presented before the bombers of Kenya was actually a report. Then a bill is going to be recommended. The president and Raila Odinga met with the members of parliament. I am sure when they met there, they proposed, the members of parliament proposed certain amendments. And I remember Isaac Mwaura also coming up with some proposals for persons with disability. Mwaura, Danita Gatti, and the persons with disability in parliament coming up with their recommendations. And some of those recommendations, I'm sure, based on what I know, they are going to be considered in the bill. So, but how is this bill going to pass? And that's where the governors are now coming in. We have 47 counties. For this bill to pass, they'll require 25 counties. 25 counties. So it means you'll require and for the process to get credibility, it means they need like even 40 counties or even 45 or 45. You can only achieve that by involving everybody. So that bill is going to come, and they'll require the governors to work very closely with the county assemblies to pass this bill. Number 4, probably this is another strategy by Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta to bring the entire country to the Building Bridges Initiative report. There are Kenyans in this country who are opposed to this process. But because our politics is tribal, allies of the deputy president are opposed to it. So definitely it means the Kalenjins are going to oppose this report. But by bringing in people like Mandago, Bet, Professor from Kericho, the Bomet governor, you bring all of them, then it means that you're now giving the referendum a national face. Someone like Mike Sonko is opposed to this process, so he's going to oppose it. But Mike Sonko comes from a metropolitan constituency, which is not a big problem. So I'm sure this could also be a strategy to bring other people together. So once you bring the governors together, the 47 together, then it means strategically you've isolated the deputy president. So we'll be opposing this report from outside there, but his governor is supporting it. And lastly, I think the experts are also here to try and dissect into pieces this bill, especially on the clauses touching on devolution to the governors. I know the governors made a presentation. Were those presentations, what the recommendations in their presentations considered? If they were not considered, how are they going to be implemented? And if they are going to be implemented, how are they going to help the ordinary person in those counties? So I think these are some of the things these guys are trying to do. So the committee of experts are actually trying to explain, using the opportunity to explain to governors into the details about that particular bill, so that when they go outside there and they start talking about it, because these are politicians, then definitely they'll be talking from a point of knowledge, not a point of ignorance. So in my view, that's how I view the meeting today. But if that meeting ever took place and the 47 governors attended, then William Samoei Ruto should consider his stand on the Building Bridges Initiative. He should not oppose it, because this train has left the station. He must just be in it, because if he's outside it, then he's going to be swept away. Let me know your thoughts on this matter. Bye-bye.